I got pregnant at 15. I was a teen parent.
What was your upbringing like, and what experience shaped your heart for helping others?
I think I gave myself to the community that sometimes I forgot what I had at home. My son ended up getting caught up in the criminal justice system. So I turned my family's pain into a purpose of helping people stay alive and free.
What up? It's your girl Motivation with V, and this is Get Real with V, where we're going to get real, we're going to get raw, and we're going to get down to the truth. And I am your host, Veronica Suazo. Welcome back, y'all. This is season 3, and today we have our first guest of season 3. I'm so excited to have her on here today. I won't say too much about you so you can introduce yourself, but just a little bit of context, how we met. I actually had Valentina, who's from Mission Native, on my podcast of season 3. And I've been saying this, the power of community is insane, whether it's in real life or on social media. But I had posted Valentina's podcast episode, and that's where Joanna found me through her episode. And then we connected from there. She invited me to one of her events called Student Bay Area Barber Expo.
Bay
Something like
Area
that.
Student Barber Expo.
There we go. Thank you. And I had never been invited to any type of event to interview in person. So this was like the first time someone reached out for me to do that. And it was uncomfortable. Like I was like, should I do it? I don't know if I'm ready to do it. Like all those thoughts were going in my mind. And I was like, Vettel, just say yes and the rest will figure itself out. And that's what I did. And I'm so, so grateful I did, because being at that event was so inspiring. Like seeing all the women in that industry dominating that industry and the women that are part of the program of Freedom Braiders, and just hearing their stories and interviewing them and what they've been through, their struggles, their triumphs, their journey. Like it was phenomenal. It was more than I could imagine. And I feel like that was kind of the start of me getting invited to events to start interviewing in person. So thank you for being one of the first to reach out and having me in person. But that's a little bit about how we met. And I heard her story a little bit and just kind of what she's been doing. And I was like, I want her on the actual podcast, and I want her to tell her story because I know it's powerful. The way you connect social work with what you're doing. So I won't say too much anymore, and I'll stop yapping and I'll let you yap. So go ahead and tell them a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, anything you want to share.
Well, shout out to Valentina first and foremost. That was a very powerful episode. I mean, I was really able to see not only her, like her entrepreneur side and her boss moves, like she always moves, but to see her be vulnerable on the show was really like, whoa. Because, I shed some tears watching it. It's really empowering. And for her to just keeping that little mission girl alive, and then the grown woman mission girl. So shout out to my girl from Mission Native. So I'm Joanna Hernandez. I am the founder alongside with my daughter, Tatiana Hernandez, of Freedom Braiders.
Shout out to your daughter.
Yeah, shout out to Tati. Tatiana also runs Bay Area Student Barber Expo. So that's kind of like where like the work we've been doing in events was born, is through those expos. I'm also the director of strategic partnership for San Francisco Pretrial. So I provide, I'm like the liaison for the organization for partners in the community to give on-demand services for people exiting the criminal justice system. Let me see. I'm also part of the Latino Task Force. I sit on the executive committee, and I chair the reentry work that we do for the Latino Task Force. And Latino Task Force, I always call it, it's like where it's housed at is the city hall of the mission. That's where people go and find refugee, go find services, go get connected, go get loved and seen. So I'm honored to walk in that space with leaders there. I'm a mama of 3 grown adult children. I'm also a nana. I love that title now. I'm a grandmother of 2. I don't know. I've been married 25 years. I just celebrated 25 years of marriage with my husband.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I saw you guys' picture.
Yeah,
You're so cute.
Thank you. Yeah, 25 years. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I love that. And I want to say, like what you mentioned earlier about Valentina and sharing her vulnerability. I love that you're saying that, because that's what this podcast is about. Like, whether it's on this podcast or whether it's an in-person interview or I connect with someone, just being able to share each other's vulnerability is what's, to me, is like my passion. Because being able to show that human side, like, we're all human, we're all going through some shit, right? And sometimes, you see the titles with CEO, founder, you're doing this and that and you're up here. But at the end of the day, we all are human and we all have been through some stuff, some struggles. Yeah. And especially as a Bay Area native, like, a lot of us went through it, a lot in the mission, a lot of things we've seen growing up. And to see us just try to get out alive and like pick a different path. And that's what I want highlighted on this podcast. So I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, and sure. I appreciate you giving your intro, and telling them who you are. But I was going to ask you, what was your upbringing like, and what experience shaped your heart for helping others?
Well, one of the things I always start off when I'm in spaces is that I'm a product of what the power of community. I'm a product of what community programs and services can help someone stay alive and free. I was that young little girl born into, my parents separated when I was very, very, I was a couple months old. My father ended up getting deported to Nicaragua when I was, I think, 2 months old. He was deported back to Nicaragua. And so I was raised with my mom, single mother of 5. My mom lived in Sunnydale Projects. And when we were in Sunnydale, my mom was trying to, make wave, trying to survive, trying to raise her kids, living with my grandmother. But throughout the years of her trying to find her space and be who she was trying to be as a young mom, my dad ends up coming back here to the United States on a political asylum. So he ends up coming back to the United States. And I hadn't met him. And so I met him when I was 8 years old. And my dad moved to the mission. And I always had a connection in the mission because, my family lived in the mission, my cousins, everybody lived in the mission. But my dad ended up moving to 24th and Savanez. And I, because he was home, they shared custody. And so I was raised in the mission and in Sunnydale. So I was that girl that was going in between both neighborhoods, and two important neighborhoods that have its own cultures, its own culture and its own history of violence and being underserved, and also has all the other things that come with being raised in underserved communities. So I would say I'm that kid that was raised really in a lot of community programming. And because I took advantage of a lot of those community programs, I think I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't being raised not just by my parents, but my community. So I have a lot of community tias, a lot of community uncles and abuelas and all that. So I'm honored to have that in my life.
I love that. So you're pretty much a product of being a part of these programs.
For sure.
And then full circle, you're now also giving back by creating programs for the community.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I've been so big this past couple weeks, month on community, because I'm starting to connect the dots on just how powerful it has been for me on my journey, even with this podcast, in connecting community. And also as a therapist, I'm learning a lot about these different resources that our community has. And growing up, I didn't really know about those resources, or wasn't a product, I guess you can say. But I'm noticing how important these resources are for our community.
For sure. I mean, the community, I have a mentor who always says that if it's not community-led or community-driven, it's not a program. And you have to have things led by community and led by community, because once you start letting city government or, all them take over, it's going back to the times where our land was stolen and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So everything we do is community-led and community-driven, and something that one of my mentors has always instilled in me.
I love that. Do you feel like, well, I wouldn't know because I didn't really grow up too much in like those community kind of events and resources, but do you feel like not a lot of people within the community know much about a lot of these resources that are out there? Or if they do they even show up to these kind of events or these kind of resources? Do they take advantage of it?
Yeah, I think it's a yes and, or, because I found out about the resources in the community because I got in trouble. And so because getting in trouble led me to get into services in the community. And I was a teen parent. I got pregnant at 15. And so having to get resources at such a young age, I had to find the resources out in the community. But I think there's also those group of people who are scared to go reach to services because they don't know, one, is it real? Am I going to get in trouble? Or is this going to get reported to ICE? Or, is this going to affect my asylum case? So I think that some people take advantage of the services and resources, and some people don't because of fear. Not because they don't want to or don't need it. It's because of fear.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
And I hope for people that are listening in too, like, if there's resources out there, go and check them out. Yes.
Yeah. Latino Task Force, I think, is one of the safest place you can like run to. It's like, I call it the LTF safe haven. Like, you can run there and tap in for all kinds of support.
I love that. Do you guys have a IG profile?
Yeah, Latino Task Force on Instagram, for sure.
We'll definitely link them.
Yes.
So people can reach out, and now you guys have an actual...
Say Joanna sent you.
There you go.
For sure.
Okay, I have another question. How has your background in social work influenced the way you move through life?
I think as a social service provider and being surrounded by a lot of amazing social workers in my life, I've been surrounded by some dope social workers, like, who are very influential in my life in guiding me because, that mental health background is important. As someone who doesn't have I'm not a social worker, so I don't have that educational background, but my lived experience with my homegirls who are social workers, I got my own little degree that I've created.
I love it.
But it's helped me being around to have a better understanding on supporting people that have, like, whether mental health barriers or are struggling with substance abuse or whatever it may be. I don't ever try to say I'm an expert in anything. I always go to those who are, you know what I mean? Like, I have my girls who are social workers and, like, are clinical, with a clinical background and serving people who are, dealing with substance abuse or whatever it may be. And I go to them. I think it's having those connections have been able to help guide me through my career as a social service provider. I think as a social service provider, I do more broad, a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. You wear multiple hats.
Multiple.
I agree. I can only
multiple hats. I mean, my husband was telling me the other day, if you get one more call about... He calls me 411. Like, back in the day, you would call 411 for information.
Yeah.
I'm a walking 411. Like, people be like, Joanna, how do I get here? Joanna, where do I go here? He goes, literally, that's what you are. So I think that's what kind of like got me, is being connected to the right people.
Yeah.
And people who have those expertise in those areas.
I love that, especially as a therapist. I think lived experience is so important.
Yeah.
When you've been through the trenches and you've gotten yourself out, that's important. How do you say? Not feedback, but it's just you have that experience yourself. You've been through it. So you can come from an empathetic place when working with other people. And I think that's something that the community needs. You know, someone who can understand their struggle, can validate them, can hear them, see them, and help them, you know, how to cope with it and strategize. As someone who didn't grow up in a household with emotional intelligence and how to deal with conflict resolution and all that, I had to learn it the hard way through all of my lived experience. And then going to school and realizing, oh, wow, this is how I could have handled it. Like, it was, you know, the mixture of education and lived experience is powerful, but lived experience in general and even being connected.
No, I mean, shout out to my Latinas with masters and like all my sisters like yourself, and my niece is about to enter her master's program.
Oh,
And
nice.
like her goal is to be a clinical therapist. And like I'm surrounded but nothing but therapists. So that's why people are like, Joanna, are you in therapy? I was like, hell no, girl. All my homegirls are therapists.
You're like, not me.
Look at you know, Valentina, you, Eddie. I have so many people in my life that I can just run through. I think that's a good balance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm always for education, people to get their degrees, and the balance of lived experience is also important. But I'm always put your education first. You know, as someone who my education was slightly not interrupted. I don't want to say interrupted because my son's a blessing.
Yeah.
But I became a mom at 15, so I had to grow up quickly and figure out how to hold him down and put him first while I was still trying to grow up and be 15 and 16 years old and navigate being a young mom. So
you did it, though.
yeah.
Look at
He's
you.
34 now, so we'll be 34. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
20 years later or something like that.
Yeah.
But you did it. How does it feel? I mean, like, I'm sure in that moment, right, when you had him, you had to pivot, right?
Yeah.
You had to change everything. You had to figure it out. And now looking back where you're at and everything you've accomplished, and I'm sure there's still a lot you want to accomplish, right? But just looking and reflecting on where you're currently at and how far you have gotten in life. How does it feel?
I mean, it feels
Have you ever
good.
taken a moment to really reflect?
I have, because I feel that I've been saying lately, because I've been having a lot of questions about like what it is to be a mother and or shouting out my kids or whatever it may be. They all had a different version of me. My oldest son had a young, confused mother who was navigating, trying to find herself, getting caught up with gangs and drugs, resulting to economically driven crimes to survive, to take care of him. And then dealing with an unhealthy relationship. His father and I did not have a good relationship. It was very unhealthy, toxic. And then I meet my husband. And then, okay, this is different. This is what healthy looks like. And then I found my person. And then me and my person had my daughter. So she had both of her parents that were in a healthy space, still struggling, young parents, because he was 17, I was 18 when I met him. And I had already had a son. And then I had my youngest son, who I felt had more of a mom who was like already entering to her profession and, you know, more of a healed mom. And I think that the bonus part was now my grandchildren have a healed grandmother. Although I'm still dealing with some of the ripple effects of being an unhealed woman, because I was out there working and trying to save everyone and I think I gave myself to the community that sometimes I forgot what I had at home. Like my son ended up getting caught up in the criminal justice system. And my son is currently incarcerated, my oldest son. And he's been down for 10 years now. And so that right there, like kind of like took a shift and like people say, aren't you proud of everything? That's the one thing that I struggle with. I'm like, no, I am, but then no.
Yeah.
Because the outcome of him not being home kind of like took a detour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be that way. I was out there trying to help all these kids stay alive and free, but mine ended up getting caught up in the process.
That's so deep.
So,
yeah. I feel your pain. And how long, take a moment, you get tissue?
All right.
How long is he in there for?
He's been in for 10 years now. It'll be 10 years in July. We're still fighting the case.
Okay. So it's
still unresolved.
Okay. Well, by the grace of God,
let him hear you.
Hopefully everything turns out great. But it just sucks how, like, you look back and you see how all these things are connected and, you know, him being there and you're doing all this amazing work in the community but you look at your kids and you're like, did I do as much as I could have? But what I say is focus on the present. Don't neglect, right, what has happened. Focus on the present and where you're currently at and where you're trying to go. And focus on healing with each other together, growing, accountability. I think that's powerful. Just even having those transparent conversations.
All three of them, they're like very unique in their own way. He's a dope son. I grew up with him.
Yeah.
That is my road dog. Like we literally, it was me and him growing up. Me and my stroller on 24th Street with my backpack on my way to school. Like he's a dope kid, you know? And I think that I'm not gonna, at the beginning of everything that when it went down, I drowned. Like, where did I go wrong? How did I mess up? I was working too much. I was out there doing all this street outreach, and then this happened. And people would ask, how can you still work in the jail knowing your son is in the next building over? And I swear, like Veronica, I would literally sit in my car every time I walked in that jail. And I would literally have to physically pretend like I'm putting a mask on.
Damn.
And I would literally put it on. And I would even like sometimes like low-key pretend like I'm like locking it in. And then just in protecting my heart. I said, okay, now you're going to walk in and you're just Joanna Hernandez from 5 Keys, because that's who I worked for at that time. And that's how I survived almost 10 years working in there. And then when I get out, I'll take it off. And like literally I had to like physically do something. And sometimes I'll be like, girl, you crazy. What are you doing in the car? You're like pretending to put this mask on.
It's real.
But to me at that moment in my car, like that was the way I protected myself for so long until finally I had to tap out. Right before the pandemic hit, I said, I'm going to go crazy if I continue to work here. I can't. So now when I work in there with Freedom Braiders, and those are one-offs. I just go in and pour a little bit and I get to leave. It's not every day. I was getting lost in there. I was working 12, 13-hour shifts in the jail. I would forget sometimes that, girl, you don't live here, go home.
Damn.
I would be playing dominoes with the guys. I would sit there and conversate and just pouring some of that mama love into them. But it was starting to be draining on my mind, my body, my soul, my marriage. So I was like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So I left.
Well, I'm glad you made that switch because I'm sure that was hard. It's so hard to leave a job when you're pouring so much into people and it's a passion too. Yeah. It's like, do I go? Do I stay? But then you have to like audit your life and just see how it's panning out for you and to know that it's affecting your marriage, affecting your life. Yeah. It's like you just got to take that step.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad I made that decision because I think I would have. I was going to continue to go to that invisible rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I left because I wouldn't be in these spaces that I'm in today. And so I'm glad I made that decision.
When you were there, were you also able to like see your son? Oh,
You're not allowed to obviously there's policies in place. I'm not the only one that has worked in the system and had a loved one that ends up getting locked up.
Yeah.
So they put in policies in place that you can't be in the same building. You can't be in certain spaces. So that's one thing I'm going to give myself credit that I really hold that I was very intentional in making sure I didn't make no mistakes. Because, yeah, I worked there, but I wanted to make sure that I respected him too and his privacy. Even though people end up finding out, bro, your mom's Miss Joanna. Yeah, she don't play, bro. And he'll call me like, Mom. Oh my God, I ran into some dude going to court and he said that you yelled at him and you were like, it's okay, mijo. He go, no, but they love you, Mom. Or they'll be like, sometimes they'll be scared to go up to him and be like, hey, I didn't know like that Miss J's your mom. And he like, yeah. And they're like, bro, you got a good mom. So he felt so like proud and like he'll share it to this day. Like, Mom, you really made a lot of impact on these kids. And like, or like, I call them kids because they're almost old enough to be mine. But then when I hear him say that, I'm like, damn. Then I start messing with my head.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that for you?
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's you reflecting on how you feel like you could have showed up for him. Yeah. But it's clear that he acknowledges what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And I think that's the impactful part. Like he can't go, he can't change what has happened. But I definitely, from the sense of your dialogue with him, I can tell that he sees that you've changed, you've evolved, and you're making an impact in other people's lives. It's just so hard when you feel like you could have done better and things could have looked so differently.
I know. He was watching TV the other day and we did some interview on the news and one of the youngsters like, hey, bro, ain't that your mom on Channel 2? He's like, yeah, I think it was like a fun show, Like It or Not. And we went on the show and he's like, oh, shoot, that is my mom and my sister.
Oh.
But, I think I'm glad that he is proud and I know that all this shall pass. He will be home soon.
Yes.
He's got to have faith.
Keep that faith alive as long as he stays out of trouble. I'm sure that's the hard part in there because there's a lot of shit that goes on in there that we don't even know. He's just trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But I'm gonna put in my positive juju and vibes and healing for you and your family.
Thank you.
You guys get a good resolution out of this. And I appreciate you even coming on here and talking about this because this is deep stuff that a lot of families wouldn't want to talk about out loud. And I understand completely. It's your private life. You've been through your hardships but the power of sharing that because someone out there can connect to it. Yeah. And also, there's probably moms listening that are probably feeling the same way where they feel like they could have showed up better. Yeah. Or like they're a better version of themselves now. And they see their kids and how their kids went down a wrong path and they're blaming themselves. Like, I could have done better.
Yeah.
And I'm
a lot of that.
So I give it up to mamas because it is not easy at all. Like, my mom still worries about me to this day. Mm-hmm. If I tell her I'm going out, she's still going to worry about me. And I don't live with her. Uh-huh. It's like a 24/7 thing. It never goes away.
Never.
So I'm just grateful because becoming a therapist has really taught me that moms are constantly they care about us. They want to make sure we're going down the right path. And parents aren't perfect. You guys were learning. Mm-hmm. There was no playbook. Mm-hmm. And you did the best that you could with the resources you had at that time. Yeah. But what makes it so powerful is that you took everything that had happened and you turned it into a positive. Yeah. All the good you're pouring into yourself, your family now, the community, those are things that you want to hold dear to you. For sure. And continue doing.
Yeah. And pour into his son. His son, it's I say the creator works in mysterious ways because I feel like I got him all over again, but through this, they have this similar personalities, but my grandson's, he one thing that God, I guess, or the creator really made sure was this kid's gonna make you laugh all the time. And that's what my grandson does.
Aww.
He'll literally makes me laugh about everything. And there's not a day that does not go by that when he's with me, he like makes me laugh. So and that's important to my son. He's like, Mom, what Noah do this weekend? And I'm like, oh, let me tell you. And I just love telling him the stories of my adventures with my grandson.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but I have had a lot of friends tell me, they're like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why I got it the hardest with my parents. But now with my grandkids, like they get the best side of my mom or my best side of my dad. And like talking to you has really put the pieces for me together, because we're all human at the end of the day. So we're all growing and evolving. By the time, we're as we all get older, we are hopefully a lot better than where we started, right?
For sure.
But it's very interesting to see like the evolution of us and how much we've grown, and being able to be like, okay, maybe I could have done things a little bit better. And now you're trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting for me to connect the dots as I'm listening to you.
It's a whole different type of love. A whole different type of strength. Yeah. Special little people.
Well, thank you for sharing. And you know what? Let's get into Freedom Braiders.
Yes.
How did this idea of Freedom Braiders come to life?
Freedom Braiders.
And why braiding specifically?
I'll say why braiding first, because braiding has always been a part of my life. Obviously, as a little girl growing up, my grandmother she would grab the tela, match my dress, and she'll braid, the tela into my hair and make sure one thing about my grandmother, she always made sure I had two or one nice braid. So braiding has always been a way of connecting with someone that I really loved, was through braids, was my grandmother, who I'm a grandma's baby. And that was a memory that would never go away, that her and I always shared. Then I would say about 24 years ago, because I turned 23 I think last year, I started up a girls group with two of my other colleagues. We started up a girls group called Young Queens on the Rise when I used to work at Presida Center. And through Young Queens on the Rise, it was a program for at-risk girls, or a preventative program for girls that were either on the edge of getting involved in the criminal justice system or just needed something positive to do. And so we would have our girls group. We would meet weekly. We would do car washes. But I ended up finding out that a lot of them knew how to braid. So I was like, okay, you guys want to go on field trips? There's no funding. So you guys are going to braid hair and wash cars, and we're going to make money. So at almost every event that we had, I always had a lot of the girls. So shout out to Joanna and Rosa, all my former Young Queens, who would sit there and braid hair, and we would make money. And that's how we would get money to go on field trips. So they literally, till this day, they would be like, girl, I got carpal tunnel because of you. But we would raise money. Full circle to Freedom Braiders. I was talking to a representative from the sheriff's office, and they were like, we need more services for women. And I was like, I have an idea. Why don't we just do a workshop, and I'll bring some braiders. I'll see who wants to come in, and we'll do a self-care day. So I went on, Tatiana and I went on Bayard Student Barber Expo page. Say, any braiders want to come into the jail and braid for a day, The DMs went crazy. Pa, 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 pa. Next thing you know, they're like, I'm down. And I was like, whoa, okay. I got on a Zoom, orientated them, got them together, did the clearance paperwork, came up with a one-day kind of like curriculum for the day. Girl, one day ended up to 15 weeks inside the jail. I was like, how did this happen? It literally happened so fast. And then we were there for 15 weeks teaching inside the jail.
Every single day?
It was, I believe it was 2 days a week for 15 weeks. And we taught Mondays. Actually, it was every Monday. Every Monday for 15 weeks. So it was long.
Yeah.
And for 2 hours every Monday at San Francisco County Jail. And so we were making up the curriculum as we I used a lot of like the trainings that I had on CBT. So we did a lot of thinking for change and brought that into the curriculum, the cognitive behavior therapy stuff. But I also did an amazing training myself back in like 2012. I did the Alive and Free training. I recommend that to anybody who's in social work or social service provider. It's a 3-day training through the Alive and Free Consortium. And Dr. Marshall, who is a dope person, he does Street Soldiers on Sunday evening on KMEL. And I did the training. So a lot of what I learned in Alive and Free, I put into the curriculum as well for the women. So that's how we started. We just, 1-day workshop ended up 15 weeks inside the jail. It's crazy. And we've done 4 cohorts already since we started. And we've only been around a year, 13 months actually, to be exact.
That's huge. Do you guys get a lot of volunteer, like people from within the jail that want to be part of the program?
Like the students?
Yeah, the students.
Yeah, oh God, the lists. I mean, the number of women who are incarcerated who want to sign up is big. Obviously, they have to go through classifications and go through the screening on their department side to get in the class. But the need and the want is there for sure. And then on the community side, we get DMs almost every day for someone. How do I become a Freedom Braider? I want to do this work. I want to give back. The number of people who want to give back is amazing. And so my dream, I would say, for Freedom Braiders is to have a chapter in every county.
Ooh.
And be in every jail in California so that we can reduce recidivism rates throughout. Imagine one of the Freedom Braiders once said, all you need is some gel and a comb, and you could literally stay alive and free. The investment is under $10.
Oh, wow.
That you don't have to resort to economically driven crimes if you invest $10. Do 2 braids, you could charge $120. Back in the day, people didn't really think of it that way. They were like, I'd rather go boosting, make some money. So that's the goal, is to give people the power of owning their own businesses, their own brand, braiding, and braiding through love. We really believe braiding through mind, body, and spirit. And we get deep. Those classes are not just sitting there braiding, right? At the beginning of our class, we do journal prompts.
Oh, I love that.
And we go some deep journal prompts, like writing a letter to your 15-year-old self. Writing your own obituary.
Oh.
That one. Healing with the men in our lives, the women in our lives, our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, or that uncle that you don't want to talk to no more. So healing, we do a lot of healing. Writing to the children we left behind that were incarcerated, saying sorry to them. So we do a lot of that at the beginning of the class.
That's powerful.
Then we cry it out. We do this thing where we stretch. We get up and we kind of like shake out all the tears.
Yeah.
And then, all right, ladies, now braid. And I was like, braiders take over. And then I go have a seat and kind of like decompress while the braiders sit there and start loving on them one strand at a time.
I love that so much.
It's so beautiful.
I mean, the work that you guys are doing is amazing.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
It is. It is.
And the fact that they can use this when they get out and, like you said, start a business, start braiding, start charging for it.
Yeah.
And the money you can get from that versus, doing something else that may lead you back to jail.
I mean, these braiders, I work with some amazing braiders. Shout out to all the Freedom Braiders. They are, for example, are braiding people from the 49ers, the Warriors, the dancers for Cardi B. Too Solid just braided all the dancers from Cardi B show.
Oh, yeah.
We have locticians. So we're not just doing braiding too. Our braiders, shout out to Rocky Lock and Twist. She does locks. And she just hosted a class on teaching young women how to do locks and embracing your locks. You know what I mean? And understanding the history of locks, So they are so talented that it's not just, we're just doing little French braids here. Like, they're literally doing art. And they're teaching women who don't know how to braid, like from zero. Like, I don't know how to do a braid, to they're doing, like, I'm telling you, a heart on the doll head. They have to master 3 things: either a heart, a dollar sign, or a zigzag. A crisscross.
Damn.
By the time you graduate our class, you have to know how to do that on someone's head. And it's, believe me, I was like, that's impossible. No, it's possible.
That means you got some great teachers there.
Oh, amazing
Yeah.
teachers. Amazing.
I don't know how to braid.
I don't either.
I need someone to
I
teach
should have been
me.
taking this class this whole time. I think I would have been a master braider by now.
I need to go take that class.
I mean, when I love to watch them braid. You have to have the patience to literally, like, they're gonna kill me. Oh God, I forgot. There's a name for the parting, the scooping part with the nail, and they're all so creative. Some use their nail to be pointy on one end, and some used. They're so creative. I just wish I knew how to braid, but I don't.
No, same here. I wish I did too, but it's not something that was. I can't recall. I don't remember if my mom ever braided my hair or not, to be honest. I mean, she would do my hair, but I don't know if she ever did braids. But yeah.
See, I got that curly hair, so they were like, they're like, let's put this into something because it's all over here.
Oh, yeah, I love that. And I appreciate you sharing about the Freedom Braiders and just the program itself. It sounds so powerful. I can only imagine how impactful it is for them when they're doing these journal prompts and really reflecting. Because I think sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on in us that we mask or we put to the side. But when you get a moment to really sit there and reflect and think about things that have happened in your life or making amends and things like that, like it can be very powerful on you and it can move you.
Mm-hmm.
So the work you're doing is phenomenal. So I have a question.
Thank you.
Have you witnessed, or what have you witnessed emotionally in the women while you're teaching them? Has there been anyone that you've worked with where they've even told you, like, wow, this program has really shifted my mindset. I want to, change my life, or I want to go down this path?
Wow, it's a very powerful question.
I'm sure there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think through my lens of watching them from day one to the day they graduate from class, I get to see the transformation happening every Monday. And if you want to put it into like perspective, I literally see them going through the caterpillar phase to the beautiful butterfly at the end of the class. Like literally, like them sharing out, like, I never would have thought to write a letter to my 15-year-old self. I think that's what I needed, was to heal with her, because that 15-year-old girl and the decisions that she was making wasn't her fault. And I needed to tell her that. And that right there, instantly, you can see it. Like and then I make them read out loud. They're like, I don't want to. No, this is 100% participation. I'm not here for spelling, grammar, whatever. Maybe you just need to get up and you're going to share. Obviously, we established that this is a safe space. What you're going to hear, what's said here stays here. We all make those agreements, but everyone shares. And every story told, like literally, we've incorporated, like when we leave the jail, like burning sage and kind of like grounding ourselves as providers, because wow, imagine being in that dark space and then hearing all those stories from each woman is it can be pretty heavy. But I think I'm lucky enough to see that transformation happen every class. Every class, and they all bloom to be these beautiful butterflies. And all different colors, shapes, sizes, It's the beautiness. I feel like, have you ever been at the zoo when you go to or was it the zoo? I think it was a sportatorium where it's the butterfly room. And they're all flying around.
I don't think.
Oh my God. I think it's exploratorium. You walk into this room and it's like where all the butterflies are just flying everywhere. When I'm with them and they're sharing and they're all going through their change, I feel like I'm in a room with just nothing but beautiful butterflies.
Doing God's work.
Oh, God. I mean, that it's personal to me. And I needed Freedom Braiders in my life right now. Like, this was the perfect time for it to evolve the way that it's evolved, for me to meet the women that I have met, but to be in that space of working with these women through Freedom Braiders. And then I think the biggest reward for me is doing it alongside my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also got to see her transformation and her change as she's evolving.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. That to me, I'm like, okay, Joanna, you probably messed up a little bit with number 1. Number 2 is here. Number 3 is here. But I don't want to say I messed up with my oldest son, but I for her being my only daughter, I'm happy that I get to see her transformation and her change too within herself.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love hearing the work that you're doing with your daughter.
Yeah.
And just your kids.
She drive me crazy though.
I think we're always going to drive our parents crazy. Sorry.
But that's my, she's my daughter, my business partner. We own a family-owned barbershop too in Pittsburgh. We own A1 Barbershop. And
you guys are doing it all.
So we run this business together as a family, my son, my husband. And I was like, sometimes we be needing little breaks from each other. But she holds me accountable. She's like, Mom, that's not how you do it. Like, Mom, stop. Mom, this. Because sometimes I could get a little over, how would I say, not over giving, but I give too much sometimes, and I have to. She's like my little security guard of my heart. She was like, Mom, you gotta let her be. You gotta let her go through her stuff. And I'm like, okay.
I hear that. It's tough when you want the best for people, and they're on their journey. You can help them if you just. But then your daughter's right. Everyone's on their own journey, and you just have to let go.
Let go.
Let go and let them go through their stuff. And
she said, you fill their cup already, Mom. It's up to them.
Yes,
she tells me that all the time.
It's so true.
She said, girl, you gave all the water you can give. That's it. And I'm like, okay.
Now they got to drink it.
They got to drink it.
And that's up to them.
Yeah.
You've done the work. Yeah. You're pouring into them. You're giving your all, but you can't keep going more than that because you're going to burn yourself out. And that's just when this is not good when you start burning out, because then you can't really pour it into them anymore.
And I think now that I'm at a big chapter. This year, 2026, has been a milestone year for me. I turned 25 years of marriage. My grandson turned 9, is leaving his single digits. My other grandson turned 10. My daughter turned 30. I'm turning 50 this year.
Okay, hell yeah.
So it's
life is just getting started.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. In the words of my grandson, Nana, you're half of 100.
Damn, kids got no chill.
What's next for you? And I'm like, shoot, I'm half of 100.
Do you feel like you're having a midlife crisis? Or do you...
I'm just like, after he said it and the way he said it, like, dang, Nana, you half of 100. And I'm like, okay. Now that you say it that way, what's next for me? So I think that's where I'm at right now. What's next for me?
I definitely think a lot of amazing things are coming for you. Yeah, a lot of good things.
Yeah.
I mean, based on everything I've been seeing on your social media platforms, you're going off. Like, you're in a good way, right? Like, I feel like you've been getting your flowers everywhere. And I think you're just going to continue to grow and do amazing things. And like you said, you wanting different chapters. I can see that being a thing. And they should, because we need more programs that help with rehabilitation. Giving people second chances, working with them through their trauma, their childhood, things that put them there in the first place.
Yeah.
So I see nothing but great things coming for you. And I really, truly love connecting with women like you, because you are doing the work. You're pouring into community. You're pouring into yourself. And yes, you may have fucked up a little bit when you were growing up, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because look at you now. Yeah. You're evolving. You've evolved. And you're just trying to do the best you can now. And that's really all we can do.
Yeah. Continue to pay my dues, though.
Yeah.
One of my mentors always say, you have a restitution for life. So you got to continue to pay it forward. So that's the goal, is to continue to pay it forward as much as I can, because someone did it for me.
I love that. I like to say, what's going to be my good deed of the day?
I like that.
That's kind of like how I've been trying to live my life right now. It's like if I notice something or a homeless man asks me for money or someone's struggling to put their groceries away or just something very simple, you know?
Yeah.
The other event I had a couple Saturdays ago, there was this girl that was with her daughter. They were looking at these books and the daughter wanted the book. And I was going to buy 2 books. And then she told the daughter, like, oh, I can't get it. And I kind of overheard and I was like, hey, I'll buy her the books if she wants it. It's not a problem. And she was like, no, it's okay. You know how we are.
Of course. Yeah.
We don't want to accept the help. And I understand. And then she's like, no. And I'm like, look, I want to do my good deed of the day. This is my good deed of the day. I promise you it's nothing. I was like, let me just buy it for her. I'm going to buy these 2 books. Like, it's all good.
And a book.
Yeah.
How powerful is that?
And she wanted a bookmark, too. It was so cute. But then she starts crying. The mom starts crying, and she's just standing there like this. And I'm like, oh, my God, is this happening right now? Oh, but that's the power of doing good within the community from the heart. Yeah. Like, I didn't want anything in return. I just knew the little girl wanted a book and a bookmark. Her mom couldn't get it for her, and that's okay. Yeah. I'm not rich, but I can give a little. Of course. You know? Yeah. But that's what it's about.
The power of a book, though, to have, like, you know. Mm-hmm. What kind of book was it?
It was it was a children's book. Oh. But it was like a Latino children's book. Oh. I was at a Mujer Chingona event, and it was a bunch of Latina-owned businesses. Nice. And her name is Holly and Jorge, and they have children's books that are in Spanish.
Fire.
Yeah, de El Salvador, Nicaragua, like a mixture of different cultures. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I bought 2 of the books.
Nice.
For myself, just to have. I'm like, what am I going to do with these books? But I'm thinking of using it as play therapy when I start working with children.
There you go.
So.
Love it. You know, there it goes.
Supporting businesses, but also using it for myself.
Yes, I love that.
Okay, so as we start closing down, let's see. Why is it important for communities to support family incarcerated women?
You know, we all came from a woman.
Ooh, that part.
You know, I think that, you know, women are the most underserved in anything you can think of. Women are just always underserved in general, but especially in the criminal justice system. Like, women make a mistake and it's like, oh, forget about her, leave her in there. You know what I mean? Where as men, there's all these like support groups, there's these construction programs, there's all these like therapeutic groups for men. Like, if you go, there's a list of services for men to rehabilitate themselves. And there's this much for women. And these are our daughters. These are our grandmothers, our mothers that are sitting in these cement walls. These are our birth givers. And it's very important to pour into our women. You know, it's Second Chance Month right now. And I just went to an event on Saturday. And we host this annual reentry picnic every year in front of 850 Bryan at a park. And we do it intentionally in front of the jail so that hope they hear us, they see us, that we're there for them. But that event was 80% men.
Damn.
And there's like this much of us. And so I said it there. I'm like, don't forget about the women. You know, yes, we've moved. And if you look at a lot of the crimes that men are incarcerated for or whatever, there was that one girl, that one woman that was involved somehow, some way. But we tend to forget her. They get written off. You know, they get lost or get sent to Chowchilla for years. And then when she comes out, not only she has to rebuild her relationship with her children, her partner, her family, like the amount of work that has to go into that woman to really be seen again is 10 times harder than men. 10 times harder. So I think it's very important for us as a community to invest in women's services. Women have to do a lot of the parenting inside out. It's very important. Like I think we're in a crisis of where we need to be to service women. Because when you have a healed household, especially if it's the woman that's holding it down, you talk about generational incarceration. That's a way of interrupting that cycle of supporting that mama. Yes, I could go on and on. There's all these podcasts and services and research about men and young women and developing at 25. But where's all the women stuff? Like, where are we talked about in these research papers and how we need to invest in our women, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we're forgotten sometimes in those spaces, and we need to be healed too. And we need those services too. You know, I know of a woman who was locked up, who she went and she was pregnant. She had to give birth inside, and we were fighting just for her to nurse her baby. She couldn't even nurse her baby. So
that is insane.
Right? So the level of like, why is it important? Absolutely. So gender-specific services are very low right now in San Francisco and in the Bay Area. Back in the day when I was growing up, we had Girl 2000, we had Mission Girls, we had all these like services for girls. Now, they either want to integrate it, boys and girls, or there's no funding for girl services. Or they want to just create one chapter of construction workers for girls because we want women to hold up a stop sign. You know, no. It's very important. I could go on and on as to all the whys. But I want to be voice to the voiceless women who are inside, because we need to stand in solidarity with them, for sure.
Thank you for being that voice. Yeah, sure. It would be dope if this could reach them. They can hear this episode.
We're gonna bring it in.
Let's put it into the
We're gonna bring it in. Watch, ladies. I'm gonna bring this episode in. Watch.
Oh shoot! Yes, they're gonna bring it Joanna.
In. Yes, we're gonna bring it in for sure.
Oh yes, because I mean, just even being able to hear that we're talking about them and how there are women out here that see them, hear them, and want to be part of their journey and help them out.
For sure.
You know, that I think that is a first step in rehabilitation and just doing better for yourself.
Well, if you look at all the women who are in social services, we're dominating the field of helping people.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
We're the case managers, social workers, social service providers. We're like, if you look at the numbers, we are the women. Like, we need to pour into our women, you know? Tupac said it best, right? We all came from a woman, right? R.I.P. Like, we need to really pour into our women, for sure.
I appreciate that because I'm on that same mission as you. Pouring into women, each other, empowering one another, inspiring one another to be great, to heal.
And teaching each other how to support each other.
Yes.
You said it right there. Like, that's the key. I mean, all this breaking down each other, like, you know, we could be a little messy and catty and all that. No, I'm not with that. We got to lift each other up. We got to, well, you got that brand. You know, everyone knows I love sporting me some Mission Native and we have to really empower each other's businesses. We need to empower each other's podcasts. We need to empower the work that we're doing in this community, because when we start hating on each other, it's downhill from there. We got to be there for each other and uplift each other, because we're more powerful together, united, than we are separated.
That part. And I appreciate you pointing that out, because there's so many shows out there, or even celebrities that get pinned together, like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. Like, when they first had started, like, everyone was pinning them against each other. And it's like, women are seeing this. Yeah. And this is stuff they take in, and then they start doing the same thing. And it's like, the more women like us can like empower each other and show it, the more we start changing the dialogue and changing the way that women see other women. We're not in competition.
For sure.
With no one but ourselves. The woman in the mirror. That's it.
The woman. Ooh.
Oh, that part. I'm getting fired up.
I'm like, quote that one.
I got chills.
The woman in the, yes.
That's
her.
it.
That's it. Who you wake up to and look up every day? Her. That's your only competition, is you. It shouldn't be the next woman next to you on the bus, at the cafe, cafe or whatever, at the taqueria. It's not her. It's you. That's real.
I love that. It
I'm
aligns.
gonna quote that one. Right up on the shirt.
Merch coming out soon.
Look, see, we all
we're on it.
Chispas.
Businesswoman right here, y'all. we about to come out with a whole new business plan. Don't
play.
Dude, I be having so many ideas. I won't get started though.
No, that whole entrepreneurship segment needs to. Our brains just. It's the hustler in us.
I'm working on a couple of things too. I'm a therapist, but I also want to create a coaching program to help women and help them build their confidence. Kind of like a life coach.
Yeah.
I want to help women just like break the barriers, work through their self-esteem, and go after the life they want.
Yes.
Whatever that looks like. It could be anything simple, but just to like build that inner confidence and just go after it.
Because there's a lot of women who are like, not insecure so much, but like introverts who are like, have all these ideas running through their head, just don't know how to. I'm an extrovert. I'm like, give me the mic. What? Power to the people. Let them go. Free them all. But you have those women who are like, want to say all that, but just need that. So I love that. I need some coaching to help me take it out.
Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it also has a lot to do with society. And sometimes we're told as women to be quiet, to humble ourselves, to stay in the kitchen, all those things. And it's like, no.
Even in this work, in social work and I've been as a social service provider and going into meetings at City Hall and all that, people look at me, I'll be the first one to be like, I don't agree with that statement. We have to. This is why I can't work for city government. Sorry, because I got a big mouth.
No, but that's good because you're passionate. I always tell people when you voice yourself and you're always the first to raise your hand or you question a certain thing, or I think that shows that you care.
Yeah.
And there needs to be change. And that's why you're voicing yourself. And sometimes other people look at you as like you're aggressive or what's another word? Trying to start things. And it's like, no, it's not that. It's just like there needs to be change. And I'm just voicing and I'm being a voice for those that don't want to speak up.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. We need more women like that.
Yeah. So coaching is what we need. Yes. Sometimes we just need that little...
Just to give you a little push.
Yeah.
I'm going to plant a seed in you. And then that seed is going to blossom.
Like that. My mentor used to she would go into City Hall. Shout out to Tracy Brown Gallardo, my mentor.
Mentors are so important, by the way.
So important.
Yes.
She would walk around right before she'll go and speak, and I would see her have a paper clip in her hand. And I used to be like, is that her superpower? I was like, how does she get up there and just rip someone without even saying not one bad word? She wouldn't cuss nobody up, but she'll make them feel this little for all the injustices happening in our community. But she'll have a paper clip in her hand. It'll start off like this, and it will be like long and like, how did she do that with one hand while she was speaking? So I saw that was her mechanism, like to, And I was like, one day I went in her office, let me take one of those superpowers. And I started to use the paperclip. And I when I would go speak in front of the board of supervisors meetings and advocate for funding or whatever, I would literally low-key, I don't even know if I ever told her this, but I would literally have my paperclip because I would watch her. I'm like, that was her superpower.
And do you feel like it worked?
Hell yeah.
I'm going to need to try the paperclip.
Yeah, like literally it helped. Like literally concentrating, and I would have it and I'll be speaking and I'll just be, it's like having the, what our other folks say, our fidgety toys.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't afford all those ones, so we used the paperclip.
Hey, you got to get innovative out here.
Right, we got to be creative and try to use the tools that we have. But yeah, so I think we all need that little push. I have one of our Freedom Braiders. She'll be the first one to tell me, Monica, she'll be like, don't put me in front of the TV. I don't want to be a spokesperson. I don't want to do this. Every time I mess with her, I was like, I need a spokesperson for Freedom Braiders. She's like, not me. So we all need that push. Yeah. And one day she's going to do a full interview about Freedom Braiders because we just got to keep pushing her to get it. Because I bet you she has it in her. She just needs that.
I think I follow her on TikTok.
Braided SF.
I feel like she went to St. Peter's.
I don't know, Monica.
I think
Braided SF, yeah.
But if it's who I think it is, she'll definitely be giving She'll be on the screen.
Yeah, she'll be on the screen. She's on TikTok. They all are.
If you could be on TikTok, you got it. It's in you. It's there.
It's there.
You just got to bring it out.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
It's okay to be yourself, to be seen, to voice yourself. Fuck what people say or think.
Period.
That's it. Like, it don't matter what anyone else says about you. Speak your truth, and that's it.
Period.
That's all that matters at the end of the day.
I'm in my 50s on TikTok and IG. I'm still learning, though, getting the angles right. But it's the power of social media is helping, like, to bring that out in people.
Yeah.
You know, so shout out to being able to be in spaces like this and be you and feeling safe.
Yes. Most importantly, safe.
Safe.
Well, I appreciate it. Before we close down, let's see. What advice would you give someone who wants to turn pain into purpose?
I say, grab that pain, feel it, touch it, smell it, whatever way. It's kind of going back to my mask that I would put on before walking into jail. That's going to be the most powerful tool is to actually put that pain in your hands and imagine it. I think using your imagination and actually seeing it, the power of writing, the power of imagining it, and just do it. Don't be afraid. I think it starts off with little things like this. I was so nervous to come today, to be very honest. My husband's in the parking lot. I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous.
Oh, he should have kept
I'm so nervous.
I couldn't even tell, girl.
No.
At all. She came in here on her phone like a businesswoman. Like
I was nervous. I was low-key nervous. But I think it's just a matter of just doing it. You know, I know that just sounds cliche, like,
nope,
just do it. I'm not endorsing anybody, but
but sponsor her.
Nike, here I am. Freedom Braiders needs the money. No.
Hey.
But I think it's just a matter of just like, because if you start drowning in it, it's you're gonna just keep going deeper and deeper. And I think it's easier said than done, but just grabbing it and just doing it. But whether you're turning your pain into business, or you're turning it into help others, or you're turning it into like workshops or whatever it may be, there's so much you can do with what has caused that pain into purpose. And I think that what happened with my son and what happened with incarceration affecting my family and my life, I turned it into purpose. Because my goal is to heal and help heal everyone that's gone through something horrible in the criminal justice system, to prevent the future Miltons that are out there, my son. So I want to love on people. I want to hug on people. I tell young people and people I work with in the jails all the time, they say like, oh, you're not supposed to tell them you love them. No, I do love them. And I need them to hear that. So I turned my family's pain into a purpose of helping people stay alive and free.
That's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Just do it.
Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice to say it out loud and actually like hear it and be like, oh, shit.
And actually clicking and like really like,
I'm really doing this.
I'm really doing it. Like I'm really actually not ashamed. Before I used to be so ashamed of talking about my son's incarceration, but it's my reality. Now I'm not going to just drown in it. I'm going to turn that pain into purpose. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us and coming on here and being vulnerable. Like I mentioned earlier, this is not an easy thing to do. But every time, I swear, every time I interview guests, like it just makes me emotional. I get inspired. I get chills. And it reminds me of my purpose, of why I even started this podcast to begin with. And never in my wildest dreams that I think I'd be here. And so every day I'm reflecting, I swear. I started journaling too, because there's a lot of things I've been like connecting backwards. And I'm like, oh shit, like God, source is really working through me. So I hope that this episode for you is a reminder of all the good you're doing, all the work you've done, and you're going to continue to do, and all the success you're going to get, and the sponsors that are going to come.
We're here.
Okay. So what's next for Freedom Braiders? What's next for you? How can people support, donate, volunteer, or connect?
Yes. Right now we are applying for grants. So that's right now it's grant season. So we're writing. Shout out to the Department on the Status of Women who's been supporting Freedom Braiders 100%. Like they're dope. Diana Roche and her team. Trying to get Freedom Braiders funded so that we can be a staple program inside the jails.
Mm-hmm.
How you can support, follow us on Freedom Braiders on IG. And if you would love to donate, you can always just send us a message. We'll get you the right information. But that's what's next. Our goal is to be in every county jail. That's where we're going. Our next jail up is San Mateo County.
Nice.
We'll be in there in July. So it'll be our first time working in that county.
Ooh.
And Sacramento. We're going to the capital.
Ooh.
So any Sacramento braiders out there, hit us up on IG. Our goal is to get inside that facility. So we're getting there little by little. That's where we're at.
That's amazing. I cannot wait to see how everything unfolds for you.
We're gonna have you come in.
Yeah, I would love to
come to the jail and interview some of the women.
I would love
we'll have to talk. I'll end with this. Shout out to a lot of people I'll probably get a backlash for this, but it's important to have allies in the systems because having good relationship with your system partners, like the San Francisco Sheriff's Office, Santa Rita County Jail, San Mateo County, although, everything, there's good and bads in all systems, right? But I had to have a good relationship with those departments so that, one, we can get the access. But as long as they have the same goal of public safety, we just do it a little different than they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that they're all about rehabilitation and trying to make sure we bring access and bring voice. And I think podcasts like this bring voices, and we might have to just do a segment inside the jail. I have to shout out to the sheriff's office and say, we need access.
Hey, I'm here. I recently just did an event in Mission.
I saw that on 24th.
And one of the girls who invited me, her name's Cassandra. Shout out to Cassandra. She gave me the idea of La Voces de la Misión.
Ooh.
And so that's what the segment is. This powerful. The first episode drops on Tuesday.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, this will already be out by the time it's all dropped. But it's just so powerful to have been to interview in Spanish and in English. So I have some older folks that were walking by that shared their story.
Like the intergenerational conversation.
The emotions, the crying, the hardships that they've endured. It's just powerful. And being like, if I was to be able to do a segment in the jail and interview the women and their stories and what they want to share, we'll have to figure out like the name to call it. But like Voices Within, I don't know, something.
Something, for sure.
This is what I feel like is part of my journey, and I'm excited. Yeah. So I'm very open. So stay tuned, y'all. There's going to be a lot happening. Stay tuned. Follow Joanna.
Yes.
And her journey, and help out if you can. And stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Until next time. And don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share with someone you feel aligns with this episode, someone you think needs these gems. It's all free. It's $0. It costs nothing. I love y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.